Moms for Liberty is hosting a winning workshop, a grassroots victory strategies for saving America. The empowering experience offers interactive hands-on learning. Dive in, practice, and get your real-world questions answered by experts. Leave equipped to win the war for the country, our Constitution, and our children. You can go to momsforliberty.org/events to sign up. The event will be hosted in Hotel Marshfield in Marshfield, Wisconsin at 2700 South Central Avenue. We hope that you will join them. If you want to influence local elections, communicate effectively, defend your parental rights, this is for you. Welcome to the Shirl and Shirley Show. Today you've got Shirl. I'm going to introduce guest Jamie Sparks. Jamie is from Wisconsin Rapids, Wisconsin, and he is running for alderperson in the 8th District. Welcome, Jamie, and I'm going to give you a minute or so to introduce yourself to the folks. Maybe share why you're running for alderperson.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, well, first off, thanks for having me on today. I really appreciate it. I know this time of year is kind of tough for you, especially trying to get all these interviews in. So I appreciate the time. Like Shirl said, my name is Jamie Sparks. I'm running for District 8 alderperson. Born and raised in Wisconsin Rapids. Raised my family here now. I just think this community is just a great community to live in. And when I heard Jay was retiring from alderperson, I looked at my wife and said, why not? Very heavily involved in the community. And in my free time that I have, should we say, love the outdoors, love coaching. I coach high school basketball, high school football, and then I do coach middle school baseball on occasion.
Awesome.
Like I said, very community driven, very community oriented. And my job, I work at the Southwick County YMCA, and I have learned over the years how many relationships that I've built with a lot of people there. And we can sit and have conversations with people about the city and really just get to dive deep into the issues of the city.
That's great. Well, one thing I know you told me that you're dealing with right now as running for alderman, that your wife is pregnant and just about due?
She is. So my son Colt will turn 4 here in June, and then my daughter Aisley is going to turn 3 here in September, and our son Jetson is going to be born here on the 19th of March.
Wow.
Very busy time in the Sparks household. A lot of things going on.
Yeah, you took a lot on there, Jamie.
I did.
Oh.
So I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it for the world, though. I mean,
of course not.
not
Most
my
people
wife.
say when you want something done, ask a busy person.
That's right. And I think I got that trait from my mom because my mom can never say no. And it seems like I kind of, out of my siblings, I kind of got that trait where you just keep on adding more and more and more and more and more until your wife says, you need to slow down a little bit.
Yeah, you need to take a break. You're going to have to help, with these 3 kids. That's for sure.
I know.
And coaching too, because that takes a lot of time as well. So good for you.
I just got out of basketball season, and that was 4 months of ball, and we just actually wrapped it up last night with our banquet. And my wife has been a saint. Again, I can't praise her enough for helping me through this journey, and hopefully, to make Wisconsin Rapids an even better place than it is right now.
Well, I think that's fantastic. All right. Well, one question that I have for you is, what do you think, and this may be a little bit of both, the good and the bad, what do you think is the good in Rapids? And what do you think is the bad? What could you do to influence that if you're elected?
Yeah, so I'm going to start out with the good. I'm always more been a positive person than a negative person. I'm going to start out with the good. The good is this community. I mean, this community has come together in a lot of different ways. For example, because I'm a big sports guy, I'm a big River Kings, I've been a big Rafters guy. But just for me, this community come together, with different things. We got the quadplex that's right across the street, Lincoln High School. I think it's just a great asset to this community. Every weekend, I live right across the street from Lincoln High School, and every weekend we have stuff going on there. And if it's not there, it's hosting events. We just got done hosting the state gymnastics. We host state cross country. We host the state water ski show. I think, just for that, driving that in the community, that's great resources for this community. People dine here, they have hotels here. And I think that for this community is just awesome, just where we're centrally located. That's great for the community. The negative for the community, I would have to say, I think a negative is business, right? It's getting businesses in this town, and Rapids has struggled for years to get into town and to look. It's not a one person can fix all program, right? Zach Verwing started it. Shane Blazer, is continuing to do it, and I think we're getting businesses like today's Monday, and I just saw that we're getting a PetSmart in town, and I think that's great.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I didn't even know that. Good.
Yeah, it's going in right next to Marshall's there, which I think is great. But I think I could do more as a community. We need to first look look at this community as an alder person and as part of the mayor's office, they have to work hand in hand. And we really need to dig deep as what does this community needs? I mean, I joked with people for a while. I said, we're a town of 18,000 people and we only have a Walmart.
Yeah.
There needs to be more in this community. I think that's part of the downfall in this community is definitely the business side of it. It's attracting businesses, and we just need to get better as that. No matter who gets in the alderman spot for any part of the district or any of the districts that are running this time, we need to get better.
Sure. I think part of it is, I mean, like you just said, that the person that's in there right now is retiring. And thank you very much for your service, because I understand what it's like to be a political figure. And I appreciate anyone who puts their name on a ballot. I really do. I admire that. It's a tough thing to do. You're putting yourself out there in front of people that maybe don't know where you stand on some issues, and they ask you, and you may get who knows what. You just don't know what people are going to return when they find out where you stand on something. Let's point out, as an alderman, it's a nonpartisan position. I know that people are so partisan and there's so many divisions in this day and age, and we really need to work on fixing that too. We need to work on civil discourse. We need to talk about things. We need to talk openly about what's going on and be able to have conversations with people on every side. And let's just talk about it and see what's best for the whole community. When you start locally, it really is helpful, and you can meet your neighbors and your friends and your family, and you can all talk on the same line as everyone else.
Absolutely. And I truly believe that America as a whole, the United States has been so divided politics wise, and we just need to understand each other. It's okay to have differences. The one thing I've learned about running for alderman is I have people on both sides, but you know what, we're coming together, on both sides and kind of just uniting people and just talking about these issues and the ultimate goal is to make this city better.
Right. That is it. All of us should be working together to make the community a better place for everyone.
Absolutely. And everybody I've talked to, and I've had great conversations with people in this, and the support for me in District 8 has just been outstanding with people. They just all have, a Democrat, Republican, they all have the same issues that get brought up. And that's the beauty about it, is we can all work towards fixing these issues, and we got to work together.
I've always said about 70%, no matter who I sit and talk to, we can probably agree on about 70% of things going on.
Absolutely.
I think sometimes we need to focus on that 70% and worry about the 30% once we get the 70% accomplished.
Absolutely.
That's a good way to look at it. Is there like a major issue that you want to see changed in Rapids, or that you would like to work on? Is there something major that you would like to focus on? I heard you just talk about businesses and all, or is this just because you have a passion for getting out there and learning more? Obviously, you've been involved in a lot of the sports in the area and all, which is good. And I like to see that, especially people with children, because that keeps us going. I just kind of wondered if there was some kind of a major issue that you see that you would like to work on, or is this just your passion and you are ready to go?
Yeah, so it's a little bit of both. Yes, the one thing that I have seen from my line of work and just in general is the one issue that is really concerning that not a lot of people understand is, the need for childcare in this area. I work at the South County YMCA, just listening to the childcare director talk and, different people in the community talk about childcare. I mean, there's childcare waiting lists that are 60, 70 kids deep just to get in.
Wow.
Some people are putting kids on wait lists that aren't even born yet just because they need childcare for this area. No, it's not. Probably to some people like, oh, that's not an issue. It is an issue. First off, it's an issue to me because it's kind of like a domino effect. Because first off, if you can't have childcare, you can't work. And if you can't work, then you can't support a business or stuff like that. Or people are looking for work. I mean, everybody's hiring now because they just can't find people. And a lot of that to do is childcare. You talk to people and it's just ridiculous on how the wait list is 2, 3, 4 years out on some of the things. And
I'm sure it's expensive too. That's another part of childcare.
And it's expensive. It's not cheap. So for me, I take that near and dear because again, if people need to work, they need childcare. If you have kids, you need childcare to work. Most of the time, there's obviously remote jobs and stuff like that. But to boost this community, we need workers.
Well, Jamie, even if you have remote working, I mean, you can't take care of a child when you're working at home all day.
Absolutely.
I know people that try to do that, and it doesn't work very long. Little kids around, you got to have your eyes and ears open all the time.
Absolutely. And for me, that's just that's one big issue in this community that we need to address is the lack of childcare. And I know there's been things thrown out here and there with some different people in the community on how we can make that better. For me, that's what I hold near and dear to my heart is getting people to work, making sure their kids are taken care of safely.
Sure. I think that sounds like a very good idea. That's one thing that I haven't heard, to be honest with you, with all the talking that goes on around the area. Of course, I'm beyond the child age. I don't hear that part very much about childcare. So that's interesting to hear that being an issue here. So I'm glad that you're focused on that. That's a good thing. It can get us back to paying attention. I don't know how many licensed daycare centers there are. I don't keep up with that kind of thing. A big issue. I know that. And obviously you work for the YMCA.
Yep. Yes, I do.
Okay. What is it that you do there?
I am the CCLC site director actually in our Nakusa locations. Long story short, because I could go on for hours about what I do. But long story short is I'm in charge of the day-to-day programming for our Nakusa school district. So like a before and after school, AmeriCorps. I kind of oversee all the ladies and gentlemen that do all that stuff. Okay. That's how, it's somewhat childcare, somewhat not. Well, I guess it is childcare before and after school. But I just oversee the day-to-day operations with our partnership in the Nakusa school district.
Well, then that would give you a big clue onto what's going on in the childcare industry.
Absolutely.
Right. Well, what do you think is a big plus for Rapids?
A big plus is, honestly, I would have to say the just different variety that we have in this town. I know people always harp on Rapids. There's nothing to do in Rapids. If you peel back, there's so many things to do in this town, and especially in the summertime. You got Raptors baseball. The River Kings just wrapped up their home season here. You have the Cranberry Blossom Fest. You got the water ski show. You have different parks that we can get to, and the parks are becoming amazing in town. The upgrades to a lot of these parks in town. A lot of those things especially my kids enjoy is going over to Grove Elementary and their new park that they got there for kids with disabilities. And I think that's great. And I think there's a lot of things to do here, whether it's in the winter or in the summer. I mean, you can do a lot of things. I think that's positive for this community and truly what we need to see. But how my thing is, how can we make it better? What can we bring in to make this better? I mean, most every weekend there's something going on. If it's not a benefit, or if it's not a benefit, or hockey or basketball or whatever it is, or the Cranberry Blossom Fest, there's so much to do in this town. I think that's truly a positive to this community, and how many people are willing to get on these committees, willing to help out, volunteer. I mean, it's truly amazing on how much this community loves to volunteer and give back, because there's a lot of people that love this community like I do.
Yeah. I think that's true. I have met Paul, the coach for the River Kings. Yeah. Him and I have done a podcast, and we want to do more. I'd like to introduce some of the young men. And I was amazed when I heard about the balloting families, and that's pretty good to have families step up, host these young men that come in. I think that's fantastic. And I just saw that somewhere in the paper or something that they were looking at for people to do that for the Rafters too. So that's very interesting.
Absolutely. And I think the last time I knew for the Rafters, I don't think the Billick families got paid. They just, they're offering their home to a random stranger who wants to help his baseball career, which I think is also amazing too. I mean, I think that
is amazing. It's amazing.
It shows what the community is all about, and there's people willing to help out all over this community, which is really...
My family had hosted foreign exchange students through school, and it was fantastic. It was a great experience. We had one son. It was a great experience for him too. It was a great experience for our whole family. It was fantastic.
I know people that have hosted before, and they still do it, and they love it every year. And it's so hard when the school year ends, and they got to go back, because it's awesome. It's true.
We're still in contact with most of the kids that we hosted. Still, yeah. I mean, they have, they're married now and have children and stuff, so we're still in contact. And of course, they're a world away, so they're all over the place. It's kind of interesting, as it is true that these people come from, especially the girl from Japan. She came way over here and was in like the middle of nowhere. She had never seen stars or trees like we have and all. It was very interesting. It's definitely in her favorite food was raw horse meat. That about killed my son.
Raw horse meat.
Yeah.
I don't know if I could get behind it. I'll probably try. I don't know if I could get behind it.
I don't think I could get behind it either. So don't feel bad. All right. Well, Jamie, I just wanted to make sure that we hit on those things. I don't know if there's anything else that you would like to bring up. I do want you to tell the audience how they can reach you, how they can find out more about you, if there's any events coming up that you'd like to mention. And we'll go into talking about when to vote and all. I have all that information information too.
Yeah, absolutely. The best thing to get a hold of me is I have a Facebook page, just my normal Jamie Sparks. People get a hold of me from there. I've gotten a couple people that have reached out to me via that. Otherwise, I'm one phone call away. 715-630-9115. I know people get weird about giving numbers up. I truly think if people have issues and that they want to talk about, absolutely give me a call. I'm here anytime for a phone call. I love to talk to people. I'm a people person. So I really do believe that, again, we can make this place better. And I really hope I can hear from the community as well. Events coming up, the 21st, we are having a meet and greet with everybody, mayors, everyone's up running for mayor, aldermen at McMillan Library. I believe it's from 6 to 7 o'clock. Come in, you can say hi, how you doing, and we can meet and have nice conversations.
And then you just finished doing, what was it, a newspaper article or something, or questions that they sent out?
I did, yeah. So I've actually become a busy person. The daily questions come out tomorrow. They're online if people want to take a look at those questions. I'd love to have more in-depth conversations about what's in the Daily Tribune. Like I said, I'd love to have conversations with people. Next, you're going to find me. We have the League of Women Voters. They have questions for me as well that they're going to get out here real soon. We got WFHRs coming up, and then we got Rapids Community Media. So I'll be on all those platforms, and like I said, just trying to spread the word out there.
Great. All right. Well, Jamie, thank you very much for joining me today on the show and sharing a little bit about yourself. And I send out my best to your wife and the son-to-be. People, please, April 2nd, vote. That's the most important part. You can find out any information you need on myvote.wi.gov. Early voting begins March 19th. So if you're an early voter or you're going to be gone during April 2nd, please make sure that you get a ballot and vote, because it's really important. And you can also find out more information at wi.bankyourvote.com. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Shirl Shirley Show. You can click, like, subscribe. Please do follow. And I'm on all kinds of platforms. You can find me just about everywhere. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.